Hey, what's up, guys? It's Boy Carspec. Now, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that I am going through a couple of things right now. Um, I am going through this phase in my life, and still trying to figure things out. But for now, let's get right into the content. So, what we're gonna talk about for today is the basics of drifting in Need for Speed Unbound. Now, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm just gonna teach you how to properly drift in this game because a lot of people still don't know how to drift in this game. You know, this game is bad in terms of drifting department. If you're just gonna go out with a drift car, it's really bad. But hey, I'm here to help. So this is what the fundamentals you need to know about this. So first thing I like to acknowledge is that you need to figure out what car you're building up is snappy or smooth. If it's very snappy, the car is not gonna wanna, drift as good as if it was smooth. So a good example of this is the Sylvia S15. The Sylvia S15 is very snappy car, and so it's not as good in terms of that department where you're trying to drift it around. The 350 is very good. The 350 is pretty good in terms of the smoothness, and if the car is more smooth, it's gonna want to drift better. And to be honest with you, I think the 350 is the best drift car in the game. If you want the best drift car to drift around, 350 is a good example of that. So that's what the fundamentals on how to figure out what the car is. If you're trying to micro drift, then that's different. If you're trying to micro drift, the car will be better if it were snappy as opposed to smooth. But this is not micro drifting. I'm just trying to teach you guys how to drift. So next thing I like to acknowledge is that you need to find the right gear for each car. Okay, so the right gear is really important, especially when you're going up hills and down hills. When you're going up hills, it's going to be different as opposed to when you're going downhill. Going uphill means that the car might be struggling in the higher gears. So like I'd be in like 5th gear in the Sylvia S15, and it wouldn't be doing as well. So then I would just downshift to 4th gear, and then it will be picking up its speed, picking up its power, picking up its torque, giving it more of a kick to start drifting around. And then when I'm going downhill now, then I need higher gear so that I can increase my RPM. So now it's gonna be 5th gear instead of 4th gear. Now this is different for every car. So the Miata could be 3rd gear uphill and then 4th gear downhill. You're gonna have to find out. And then whenever you're at the city, for example, the city doesn't really matter. You just can change gears here and there. If you're an automatic, then that's different, but I recommend manual because you get the most control out of your cars. And that performance is another cool key. You need good performance. The car needs to have good horsepower and torque. Well, the horsepower doesn't really matter, but the torque is the key thing, the key factor for the torque. The torque is the key factor. The torque keeps the wheel spinning of the car. So if the car doesn't have enough torque and it doesn't have enough torque, the car is not going to want to spin its wheels, and then it's not going to want to drift. So pound-feet of torque matters. Also, hybrid cars are the best. So what I mean by hybrid cars mean that it's either between the smoothness and the snappiness. So between the snappiness of the Sylvia and between the snappiness or the smoothness of the 350. Good example of this is the Miata. Miata is a hybrid car. It's good when it snaps, it's good when it's smooth. You can balance between the two. And honestly, yeah, I rate them. And it's just the old Miata I'm talking about here, not the new one. I don't know about the new one, but the old one is pretty good. when it comes to drifting. Also, you need to test out every car what suits you best. It could be any car. You know, the S15 didn't do it for me, but you know, it could be good for somebody else. S14 is another good example. You know, you never know. And what helped me was off-road tires. Not the super ones, not the max ones, you know, the elite ones or the super ones. I feel like you need to go with the lower end ones, which is the sport tires. You need to go for the sport ones. You can either test them out. It could be drift tires, it could be off-road tires, it could be road tires, it could be normal tires. You just have to test out what suits you best. If you're trying to micro drift, you come to the wrong person. Let's be honest, you come to the wrong person. I'm not trying to. So if you're trying to micro drift and do the best out of the drift zones, then like another video might be about that. But this time, even then, like you could probably get the drifting out of it from this video. If drift tires don't work. Drift tires don't work. Drift tires don't work. Don't tie drift tires. At least the high-end ones. You can try the sport ones, like I said, the pro ones, like I said, but don't even try with the super and the elites. They don't work. They grip up the car too much, so that you can't even be able. You're not even gonna be able to drift out of it, since that's the case there. So. But anyways, that's it, guys. That's how I figured it out when it comes to the fundamentals of drifting. You have to find out what car is right for you. If you're a snappy person and you like driving in the city, S15 is a good thing. If you're a smooth car and like if you're a smooth person and try driving smooth, you know, the mountain roads is a good example. So test out every car in any way possible, because this game doesn't have good drifting at the end of the day. The drifting is bad in this game. So if you really want to drift in this game, that's really gonna have to go about. You can get in the game like Horizon 5, and that's another good example, which Horizon 5 is a better drifting game. But this game, that's the case there. So just test out any car. It could be a super car, it could be a JDM car, it doesn't matter. You know, just test out as many cars as possible, because every car is different in this game. Again, like I said, you can't tune the cars. You could tune them, but it's not at the level as it is in Forza. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna keep comparing the game to Forza, but this is the only game I can compare it to be honest with you. So anyways, that's it, guys.